What's going on, everybody? It's a little bit different video than some of the other ones I've been posting. Taking a little break from working on my 3000 GT. It's winter time, and just had a whole lot going on. So we've crossed over into the new year, and work has been crazy. It always seems like at the beginning of the year, everybody's trying to save the world, and um, between the life and kids, things get a little stressful. So I decided to take my holiday today and going to do something that I absolutely love, and it's very important. I'm not a counselor or anything, but it's very important to take care of yourself. The things in life that bring you joy can also bring you the most sorrow, and I always like to look at it as nobody cares about you but you. Now I know there's a ton of people that care and love about me or love me and whatnot, and and that's not what I mean by this. What I mean is, you know, your I know the fancy word now is everybody wants to talk about mental health, but your mental health and your well-being are really in your hands. When you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, sometimes you just got to fight back and do what's best for you, and sometimes that's recharging your batteries. So today I'm going out into the woods. Uh, Gonna start off on some trails out here, and I'm in Mammoth Cave National uh, Park, National Forest, and gonna take some marked trails out into the middle of the woods, and from there I'm gonna go off trail because I know of out in this area. Me scan out here. I mean, right now it looks like nothing but trees, but I know that there's a lot of beautiful waterfalls that are out here. I know I've personally seen probably 8 of them. On today's hike, I'm hoping to see at least 6 or 7 of them, probably 3 of them that I haven't seen yet. And we've had a lot of rain here at the first of the year. And so hopefully they're flowing good. So I'll take you along on the journey. I'm not going to film the entire hike, but some key points I'll bring you guys back in, and hopefully we'll see some good waterfalls. So this is the trail I'm starting off on. This is my favorite time of the year to hike. It's cold. It's about 36 degrees out, which means all the mosquitoes, the nuisance bugs, I'll say, and poison ivy, all that stuff is gone. Don't have to worry about ticks. And the nice thing about not having leaves on the trees right now is you can see a whole lot more throughout the woods. Like over here off to the left, there's a big ravine down there. And if everything goes the way I think it is, that's the way I'll be coming back. So I'll almost be making a big loop. Right now I'm still on the marked trail, even though it's hard to tell with all these leaves. But there's little side creeks. I don't even want to call them creeks. They're like runoffs. And they come across the trail. And if you pick up on those, that's what usually runs down into the waterfalls. There's no signs out here marking them, which that's what I love most about this, is there's a lot of people that don't even know they're out here. Which means then there's less people that come out here. So if you want a day to get away and just enjoy nature's beauty, this is the place to go. My wife and kids absolutely love to hike as well. My son's real big into catching bugs. He loves bugs that kill other bugs, so we're always out here looking for centipedes and crazy beetles and whatnot, but that's not the time of the year. This is not the time of the year to be looking for those kind of things. My daughter, she's 9. She's the one that tends to throw the biggest fits when we're out here. She'll start off throwing a fit, and then because she doesn't want to be out here, and then as soon as she finds a flower or something cool like a fossil, then she loves it more than we do. But my wife's a waterfall fanatic, so she's definitely upset that I'm out here because she's at work, and she knows I'm potentially going to see some really cool stuff. So this was kind of what I was talking about. I don't know if you can see this, I don't know, I can call it a ravine, a ditch, a low spot here in front of me. And it all funnels downhill that way. So from the looks of it, it doesn't look like there's much water flowing, which means we may not see much waterfall activity today. But you know, some of these smaller runoffs connect to more as they go down, so maybe we'll get some kind of action. But right now they look kind of dry. I mean, down there you can see a little bit of water moving, but this is the first one. As you can see here on the trail, it doesn't look like much, just some rocks and a little runoff that runs down that way. But as it goes downhill, it gets bigger and bigger, and then you'll start seeing some, I guess I call them shelf type waterfalls, where you know, water runs off some large overhanging rocks and whatnot. So that's where we're going, that way. So this is kind of what I was talking about, is right in front of me. I didn't get far, maybe 100 yards or so off trail. And you can see I've already got some moving water. So this is a separate runoff that was coming off of the right. And then as you can see over here, this was that guy was the one that I followed down here. So now we have two runoffs merging together. And then right up here is where the first waterfall is. So we may see some pretty decent action. I'm going to stand here and be quiet, and you can actually hear the waterfall falling. Okay, let's cross this, I wouldn't even call it a creek. I would just call it a runoff. Let's cross this guy and then get over there and see what we got going on. So here's the runoff. It's got a pretty decent flow on it today. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time at this guy because we're going to come back to this one in a little bit, and I'll explain why here in a second. So there's another little small one running off over there. You can see it through that tree. This thing runs all the way down, and you can see water all the way down here. But I know there up this way, there is another, probably one of the bigger waterfalls out here. I'm going to go to this guy up here first, and then I'm going to backtrack down here and then go down to the bottom, get some videos of this waterfall, and then it steps down. There's probably, I think there's 3 waterfalls here as it steps its way down. But the reason I'm coming back here is because the bigger one that we're going to go to, I can't get down it, but it connects to down here. So we'll come back, go down this steep bank, and then follow this guy all the way down. I brought my rope with me in case I need to, you know, a little support on the way down. But there's at least 3, if not 4 different, I guess you'd call them ravines, that all merge together down at the bottom and then ultimately go to the river. So that's what we're going to find out today, is how far down does this thing go. So it didn't take me long to get over to the other waterfall. Has some nice super clear water. And this is another runoff coming off of another hillside. So this guy runs down through here with a nice you know, carving out the side of the hill with some nice rock formation. But right over here, there is another runoff coming off this hillside. So these little creeks, anytime you're out on a trail, especially in, you know, hilly country, these little runoffs may not look like much, but right here you have the first one I showed you comes down to here, and then this one I'm standing at now, this little guy comes down off here, and they merge together, creating a larger flow of water, and then ultimately drop off here. Let's see, let's get to the other side so you can see this first smaller one. Is now we have this small waterfall that's probably, I don't know, 5 feet tall maybe. May not look like it in the video. That drops into this guy right here. Right there is where it falls off. So we're going to go back around and down, because this ultimately feeds the larger waterfall that's at the bottom of the ravine that I mentioned earlier that I can't get down, so I'll have to backtrack. So let's get to the bottom of this one. So here we are at the bottom of the other waterfall. It's probably hard to see with all the shadowing, but it is coming down right over there. So I'm across the runoff. Get you guys over there closer to it. So we just left the top of this guy right here. So you see what I mean by even a little bit of flow of water can make a pretty waterfall out here in the middle of nowhere. What I think is so pretty about this area is you just got this big rock bluff. It's almost like a cave, an open cave. You know, there's big boulders that fall. Most things are bigger than I am. This thing runs all the way down here. It has a little water running off the side. But the water that runs off of this heads down this way, where the bigger waterfall is. We can only see it from the top, and then later on we'll have to come back to it. So here's the other waterfall, just below the one we just left, and it's got this really cool, I don't know, this would probably fit almost a small car up in there. I mean, it's got this cool little cave right next to it. This waterfall here is probably 12 feet. Falls into this little pool here. Then it drops again into a couple cascading falls down into that larger pool. And if I'm not mistaken, right there is the runoff that comes from this direction for the very first waterfalls we've seen. So I'm taking a look at this. I don't know if I can get down here. Again, I'm out here by myself, so I'm not going to do anything stupid. Last time I was here, you know, I had my family with me, and there was leaves on the trees, so you couldn't see very far, and I didn't know what the terrain looked like going off that way. So, being that my kids aren't here with me, and I don't have to worry about a 9 and a 12-year-old, and well, more so my wife falling off the edge of something, I may take an adventure over there because it looks pretty flat, and I might be able to get down and around, which then means we will come back up the bottom side of those other waterfalls, which should be close by. So I'll turn the camera off and see if I can get down, and then I'll come back and let you know. So this is the first time I've made it to the bottom of this one. And I can imagine after a heavy rain, this thing is probably pretty awesome looking. Standing all the way down here, I'm guessing easily 30 feet from the bottom splash to the top. Runs down into this small pool, which then carries around this big old rock bluff. Just kind of been eroded away over the years. Let me get out of here out of the glare of the sun, so maybe you can, there we go, maybe see that a little bit better and how this thing looks. And then it comes, the water comes running down through there. So since we've made it down here, we're going to follow this to see where it connects, and then we'll backtrack up to see those waterfalls, then turn around and go downstream to see what else we can run into. And just as I suspected, there's the first waterfall. Now I think this thing, 2 or 3 cascades in it. I see 2 of them right here. I'll get up closer, waypoint it, take some pictures, and then I gotta go up and around. I don't know, probably go up here and then go up along that ridge up there to see what else is up there. But something interesting that I didn't know, because I've never been down here before, is this water connects with right about there some other water, so there's another little runoff that comes down this way, and I may head up that way and see what that's all about. But again, the one thing that's just awesome about this area, man, is just the rock formations where all these waterfalls are. I mean, you look at it on a map, you go out on the marked trails, and you have no idea that you're couple 100 yards away from all of this beauty. And I guess that's a good thing, that not many people come down here. And here we are to the next waterfall up our backtrack. Pretty sure up there towards the top of that, let's see, up this way is where waterfall number 1 is. All of these bluffs around here are pretty steep, so I'm gonna have to probably head back up this way, up here, and then go around and follow up along there to get up to that next level, and then come back down. And there it is, waterfall number 1. So that was the very first one that we looked down the top of. Now let's take a walk over to it. I hope all this footage is turning out okay. I noticed I didn't have my anti-shake on, so they might be a little shaky. Out of the way, give you guys an idea. Look how clear that water is. Not too bad for being out in the middle of Kentucky. So there's waterfall number 1. This guy is probably, just guessing, 20 feet. Easily 20 feet. And then there was the little side runoff. So I would imagine during a heavy downpour, and I guess that's one of my next goals, is to come out here when it's a heavy monsoon rain. As much as that would suck, being out here being wet, I bet you these things are flowing like crazy during the rain. So again, big high rock bluffs. And then we're going to follow this guy back down. So I'm sure you guys are getting turned around since I'm just wandering around through the woods. But you know, as I mentioned, there's a method to my madness anyways, following all of these little runoffs. So we just came, the waterfalls we just left were up this way. This runs down a ravine. And then as I mentioned, we were going to look up this little side one right here. And this side ravine, one is the first thing I noticed was this really cool big rock bluff. It's really hard to tell on camera how tall that guy is, but he's probably 40 feet. But then you got this beautiful little waterfall, which I think this would be is what I would classify as waterfall number 7. I'm sure these all have names. There's been people out here that have waypointed, GPS coordinated all of these waterfalls, and I've seen some of them with names. I am pretty sure this is the ravine that takes us back to where we started. So I'm going to waypoint this, take a picture of this guy, and then we're going to go turn around, go back down this way where all 3 of these connect, and then follow that down and see what that turns into. So I'd forgotten about this little runoff. We saw this one when we were heading up to the very first waterfall. I said we'd come back to it. This little guy here is probably 3 feet tall or so, but it's hard to tell. But up underneath that log, I see a lot of wet rock, so I may venture up there if there's nothing exciting. Not may, I am going to venture up there, and if there's something exciting, I'll bring you guys back. If not, I won't. But this was, I'm standing in the middle of the runoff that hits this runoff that we just came from, that connects to the other runoff, and then all 3 of them merge right there and then goes down that way. And that's where we're going to go ultimately after I see what's up this guy right here. Well, it pays to backtrack because that little runoff turned into heard something smacking some rocks together. But that little waterfall turned into this runoff, and then up there back behind it there's another one that we're going to head up to. So let's head up there and see what we got. So here is the waterfall up at the top. Probably from the first water contact to the top, 10 feet maybe. It's got some really cool looking, let's get up here a little closer without slipping. All these really cool deep holes into the ground underneath it. I'll turn it back on with my light. I look around here at the bottom, I don't see any animal prints, so I don't think I have to worry about if I stick my head up in one of these, something come running out at me. But that guy there probably, man, just guessing 10-12 feet deep in there. The ceiling probably 4, and then this guy just goes back to a dead end, but that's probably another 10 or 12 feet back. Get turned around here. You can see the little holes that are carved out in here. that connect to each other on the way out. And then as I turn around, then you got the waterfall coming off over my head. So yeah, it's said it before. It pays to venture up a little runoff, because you never know what you're going to find when you're out in the middle of nowhere. So I followed that little creek up from the waterfall that had the nice cool tunnels underneath it to find this guy right here. That's probably 20-30 foot bluff, rock overhang. I mean, it's pretty huge. Then it has all these cool mossy boulders underneath it. So all of this funnels down that way. And that's where that other waterfall is, so it's not too far away. But, you know, I can't stress enough the safety of going out hiking out in the middle of nowhere. You know, always follow the basic stuff. Let somebody know you're out here, where you're going, when you're supposed to be back. You know, I brought plenty of food and water with me. Brought me a good old pocket knife and my favorite little pistol, little Ruger LCP2 22 long rifle, because you know I don't ever plan on shooting anything, but you know they say there's mountain lion and bear out in this area. At least you hear that anyways. And like I said, I'd never shoot an animal. I'm not a hunter, but I always carry it just in case I need to make some noise, because I would think some wild animal come across and they heard a pistol go off, that would be enough to scare the bejesus out of them, and they'll just run away would be the hope. So again, also don't take any unnecessary risk while you're out here. You know, I brought plenty of stuff with me, and brought a rope. I don't plan on using it, because if I'm using a rope, then I'm probably doing something stupid. You know, just be smart about what you do. You know, you get up here, this is a prime example. That's probably about a foot drop right there, and if I cross right there on that slimy moss and I slip and I twist or break my leg, I don't have cell phone service out here. I'm in emergency only. What if I was up on that rock bluff and I fell off of it, trying to look over the edge of it, and I get knocked unconscious, or even worse, break my neck or something, then you're pretty much done for. So don't come out here by yourself to do anything crazy. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to go back up the creek a little bit, cross right there, and then move up here through the trees where I got stuff to hold on to and got good footing. You know, all these leaves out here, they also make a nice slip hazard, and you don't know if there's a hole or anything that you're getting ready to step into. So also wear good boots and good pants, because there's a lot of thorns out here. Moving on. This will be my last video in this area. So that little waterfall there was the one that had the tunnels underneath it. But as I was coming back down, I just happened to wander over to the other side of this runoff and saw this really cool area right here, literally right next to the water runoff. So as we get up here, has all these, it's like a passageway underneath there. I think this one over here does the same thing. Hard to see up in there, but this whole thing is easily 15 feet deep. Then, as we come up here, right above it, got a little passageway through there. It's like this little shelf area. And then you got this huge, massive hole that's through here. which I thought was pretty cool. So I figured I'd show that to you guys. Probably going to wear you guys out on footage of some of these cool rock structures. But I still have not gotten far away from this little side channel that I came up. Again, I'm still following the runoff down. I just call it the waterfall with the tunnels underneath it. But then I saw this cool rock structure here. It's literally, I mean, it's not 10 feet deep maybe. But it's just cool how it's got some of these passageways up in here. That's probably, this one here is probably 4 feet deep and I don't know, 5 feet tall. But it's just cool how this guy, which I don't know how well that shows up on camera, because it almost looks like it's part of the rock structure. Well, it is, but I mean, it kind of blends in, but it's hard to tell that this thing is just like a leg. It's like a leg that's just standing there. So if a man was going to sneak out here and do some camping or something, that might not be a bad little shelf hole to sit in. Because then you got this guy kind of protecting you, and then you can still hear the waterfall off in the distance. Alright, moving on. So here is where the two runoffs connect. So we just came from up here. There was two runoffs that connected up there. And then this was the very first runoff that we followed down. And then backtracked up that guy right there. So now these two, get some nice clear water. These two connect and head down this way. Figured I'd go ahead and walk this part with you while I'm filming, because I thought it looked pretty cool down here, and I haven't even gotten down here myself. So I figured we could see this together. Right now I'm just walking on flat rock. Probably need to, from the look of it, cross over to the other side, which I'll probably do that up here. Again, as I mentioned, just always checking your footing. If you wear good boots that are, you know, mine say they're waterproof, I'm not going to test them out. But you know, they got pretty high tread on them. You can walk through some shallow water and not get your feet wet. So I can't stand having my feet wet while I'm out in the woods. So I don't know how that looks on camera, but it is pretty awesome in person. And I hear some water falling up here from my left. I can't tell if that's an echo. Deep little, I wouldn't call them caves. I guess they're inlets. Oh, there's a waterfall up here. That's what I was hearing. So there's probably what I would call waterfall number 12. We'll get down to the bottom of that here in a second. And I don't know if you can see this overhang any better. I'll go up there and take some pictures of that guy. And then I'll bring you back if there's anything cool up there. So this big overhang, I just walked into it, and this is really the first evidence of other people being out here, is footprints. Which, as I mentioned, you know, this other people know about this area. There's just no groomed trails or marked trails that get you out here. You just have to venture off and find it yourself. But this is probably the biggest cave I've been in out here. Easily 60 feet deep. Ceiling heights, I'm just guessing, man, it's 30 feet easily. So it's a nice size. Some interesting things, like in this rock here, it has a hole in it. Could be water that did that. There's another one over here. I mean, this is all sandstone, so water dripping from the ceiling probably caused that. But then when you get over here, there's a railroad rail, it looks like, that is driven into the ground. Looks like it's been there for a very long time, which makes you wonder, why is that out here? I've ran into one of those out here before, so I don't know if it's from people that previously owned this land, you know, before the state of Kentucky purchased it. I don't know the history of this land, but you know, surely somebody owned it at some time. But just a very cool area. I think this runoff, there's a sneak peek at that waterfall right there that we just saw. I think all of this runs down to the river. We're going to continue on down just to see if there's anything else exciting that way. So now we're down here at the bottom of this waterfall, and something very interesting. You know, we are in cave country, and we are known for rivers disappearing. And as you can see, this runoff, this nice, pretty clear runoff, disappears. So I don't know if it's seeping in the ground or if it's running off underneath that ledge over there. It doesn't look like there's a strong current over there. But as I walk down this way, which would be the only way that water can go, as you can tell, I mean, it's nothing but steep walls down the side. There is no running water. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's no telling what kind of underground river that we're walking on top of right now. Let me get up here and I'll turn back around and give you a better view. So there's the waterfall. The only way the water can go is this way. And there is no water. But then we head over this way. So again, no water. Get through these trees. And then there's water again. But I think this water is from a different source. So you can see where I'm walking, it's dry. That water should be coming from that waterfall up there, but it has disappeared in the ground. Then I come up here and I got this water running out of this hole in the ground. So I don't know, maybe it is that water. It's just really cool that, and I'll be quiet and let you listen to this if you can hear it. You can hear the echo underneath there of the water echoing, but then also there's like a faint roaring sound where I think it's water farther up underneath there, maybe splashing or roaring underneath there. Thought that was pretty cool. But as it comes out here, it speeds back up again and heads down that way. which is where we're going. Bringing you guys back pretty quickly. So all of that water has went back into the ground again, and I'm standing in what looks like, you know, to me, and I imagine to you guys, this all looks like a creek bed. You know, all kinds of river rock. Water should be running down this way, but it is completely dry again. So it makes me wonder if many years ago water used to run through here, and then you know, with all this sandstone around here, maybe a crack in the ground opened up, a cave opened up, and all the water went down in there and started going a different direction. Probably why we have so many sinkholes around here. Just guessing, I'm probably a quarter mile down. Still no water. But then as I get here, we pick back up water again. It's coming out of the ground. You can see if I hold real still, you can see it's moving. So it's coming back out from underneath here and then continuing on that way. Now as we get closer or farther down, there's water coming out of the ground right there, flowing. And you could hear it flowing down. So it's a pretty good little stream. And then it joins together with all of this water, which is, you know, we've been coming down from up here and it was dry, and then you know, we picked up water again, so now we're flowing pretty good, and then we're connected together right here with more water coming out of the ground. And then as I look back this way, we got another ravine up that way. Now I don't know if I'm gonna go up there and explore that one. I got plenty of time, so who knows? But who knows what's up that way? I've never been down here before. Well, I've reached the point where I'm going to turn around. Back up here behind me, there's a big rock bluff that I just went up and looked at. It was dry, but it looked like water had been running down it. Still following this creek behind me, right over here. But I'm about 3 miles in, and yeah, I got another at least 2.5 to get out of here. So I figured it'd be a good place to turn around, head back. It's pretty uneventful down here, even though it's beautiful. You know, lift that up, look at there. There's not even a cloud in the sky today. So it's been a wonderful day. It's probably like 40 degrees right now. I've already had to shed a shirt off. It's getting a little too hot. So I'm going to turn around, head back up. If I see anything exciting, I'll bring you guys back in. If not, then we'll close here shortly. Well, this is probably the hardest part of the hike. I hit the little side ravine that I had been telling you guys that I was going to come back. And it's probably the most treacherous terrain that I've been on out here. Some pretty cool overhangs and down there. I can get down there, but I'm not gonna go down there. Probably 50 feet up. May not look like it, but I'm probably 50 feet up. But this this terrain, which I just come from over that ridge right there, I had been trekking through what looks like that, which is basically rhododendrons and thorns, pretty much going straight up. Then I found this lower area to come down, because from the looks of it, it looked like it was a little more open down here. But this does look familiar to me, so I've been here before. I brought the wife and the kids down here because I remember being down there looking up in all of those holes with the kids with flashlights and whatnot. But so I know this will get me out of here. Well, my map shows me it'll get us out of here. But being that I know I've been here before, I know how high I need to go up there to bypass all of this low, steep stuff to get on the other side of it. So we're almost done. Well, guys, I just finished the hike. I don't know, it's about 4 hours to do it, 4.3 miles, but it's a lot of uphill climbing around trees. And, as you can tell by the video, I was all over the place. I'll share a screenshot. Figured out how to add a screenshot of the trails that, or the paths that I took. Not much of a video editor, but just wanted to close out. I'm sitting in my truck because it's done got breezy outside, so didn't want a bunch of wind noise. But um, I created this channel, to put videos of my 3000 GT and other things that I work on. So, but I didn't really, have a specific idea of what I wanted this channel to be. I just know my phone reminds me every week that I spend about 4 hours on YouTube. I don't know how that relates to everybody else, but I spend 4 hours a week on YouTube looking at other people's stuff. So, I figured why not put some videos out there. I'm not have no plans whatsoever of being a top YouTuber, or, if it happens, it happens. But, I'm not big into video editing. So I guess the videos I do are more like video blogs, so to speak. But, if a 3000 GT video brought you to this video and you watched the whole thing, hey, we may have a new connection, or just know somebody else out there has similar interest to you. If you came here, watched the whole video and said, you know what, this sucks, where's the 3000 GT videos? Well, I have at least 5 more of those to post. I got a video where I put an exhaust system on my truck that I'm sitting in, which I'm going to be posting. I did a lot of my videos ahead of time while I was working on the car and just getting around to posting them. So the hike today was kind of a self-reflection. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, um, you know, having the mentality of nobody cares about you but yourself. I said that not with for people to, take that the wrong way, and be like, oh, poopy pants and, nobody loves me. That's not what I meant by that. I think I might have clarified that at the beginning as well. But, it's just more of, you need to care for yourself. I have a lot of people that care for me, my family, very close friends. Walked with some of my brothers this year, one of them through a 13-year divorce, and another one that just recently lost his son on Christmas Eve. So, I have a very tight network of friends that all care about me and I care about them. But, what I meant by that is at the end of the day, if you don't care for yourself, you know, nobody can carry you through life. You have to carry yourself through it. I get up I don't say every morning, 3, 4 days a week, and go to the gym at 5 in the morning. And there's a guy I go to the gym with that he says that all the time. We get there at 5 in the morning, and he always says, nobody cares but you. You know, my wife doesn't care that I go to the gym at 5 in the morning. My kids sure don't care because they're home asleep, but I care, and that's, I guess that's kind of the point of it, is you have to care enough about yourself to take care of yourself. Um, and then everybody else that cares for you will help you through the tough times. But at the end of the day, whether you're a spiritual person, I am, I'm a saved Christian, and, I got God in the center of my life, and I know he cares for me. But at the end of the day, I got to care for myself. And today was let's get out of cell phone reception, get away from the family, yelling at my kids on the way to school this morning because they weren't getting their butts in gear. They were dragging tail, and I got a little fired up, and that was part of the reason why I said, you know what? Hey, it's time to disconnect from reality, get get back on a new path and take at it again. So in my self-reflection, the word that was given to me while I was out there in the woods was, are you a part of the solution or are you a part of the problem? And you can take that into pretty much any avenue of your life, whether it's your work life, your home life, your personal life. Is Are you a person that's striving to make things better, striving to make people around you better, or are you a part of the problem? And you can take that however you want to, but that was just the word that was given to me today. So I'm going to reflect on that personally and try to get better. So appreciate you guys spending all of this time with me, and I hope you enjoyed me rambling on and wandering through the woods. But it was good times, and look forward to you on the next seeing you on the next video. So in my self-reflection, the word that was given to me while I was out there in the woods was, are you a part of the solution or are you a part of the problem? And you can take that into pretty much any avenue of your life, whether it's your work life, your home life, your personal life. Is Are you a person that's striving to make things better, striving to make people around you better, or are you a part of the problem? And you can take that however you want to, but that was just the word that was given to me today. So I'm going to reflect on that personally and try to get better. So appreciate you guys spending all of this time with me, and I hope you enjoyed me rambling on and wandering through the woods. But it was good times, and look forward to you on the next seeing you on the next video.